Hey guys, this is Lorenz. Welcome back to the Ketones and Coffee podcast, and thank you so much for tuning in. I know everyone here that's listening are here because you want to create a sustainable, healthy lifestyle through the ketogenic diet. And every single week, I try to bring in guests that not only has the knowledge, but these individuals has also been through the same trials that we all have been through when it comes down to our search for a better health. We get together in hopes to assist you on your own journey. This is a good day today, guys. Our guest today has been on the ketogenic diet for 2 years now and has since lost over 140 pounds. He is also a keto bodybuilder, turning it around 360, going 1,000 miles per hour. This guy, I'm so honored to be joined by David Herrera, also known as Keto D. David, welcome to the show, man.
Hey, Lawrence, I'm happy to be here, man. We're finally, after many attempts, we finally are sitting together talking.
Yeah, it's meant to be, man. It happens a lot, but it is what it is. We're here right now, man, just to hopefully inspire people, and hopefully we can get your story through people and impact some people. So here we go.
Awesome.
Yeah, again, so it's a pleasure to have you here, and thank you for taking the time, man, to share your journey. It's incredible what you've done in the last 2 years. You've lost over 140 pounds. I believe your highest weight was 355 pounds, and today you're just over 200.
Yeah,
Incredible,
yeah,
man.
yeah. It's
That's
actually been
amazing.
over. It's been over 3 years actually. I started
Over
January.
3 years.
Yeah, I started January 2019, and I weighed 355 pounds, or
Yeah,
what I think was 355 pounds, because last recorded weight that I had at the doctor's office
yeah,
was probably like a couple of months
yeah,
before that, and it was listed as 341, but I know for sure I had gained more weight. So I say 355 because it's, I guess, around there. But yeah.
yeah. Now I've seen the transformational photos, man. It's incredible what you've done because you've really turned it around 360, and from that in going to become a bodybuilder is amazing. And for people that are curious, obviously not many people can do what you do. Maybe in their own way, but we have a lot to discuss here because a lot of people obviously um, it's very hard to change your lifestyle first of all, and to lose that many pounds and then turn it around like you did is there's a lot of value there in your experience. And so if we can talk to our listeners today and talk about how you did what you did and what has led to that transformation, your experiences along the way is very important for our listeners to understand because many people are struggling to just even change their lifestyle because for many different reasons, right? And I think your story, your experience with the keto diet, and your struggles are very valuable to our listeners here. So I'd like to get a context on how it all started for you. I always want to start it with your prior relationship with food. Obviously, that's something that we've always talked about on the show because we know our conditioning growing up is a big part of who we are and why we've done what we've done, and who we are today. So obviously you have turned it around, weighing over 350 pounds, and then turning it around like that is something to be behold because what you've done. Not many people can do it, but you did it, and maybe you can share your experiences with our listeners here. So I want to get you started with how you um maybe growing up, what's your relationship with food like?
So yeah, basically, I grew up in a Cuban American household. My parents
Mm.
came from Cuba at a very young age. Um, but yeah, dude, like as far as like growing up, my parents are didn't really do a lot of cooking in the house. Imagine I was born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, so a lot of the things were very quick, very easy. Pop in the oven, pop in the microwave.
Yeah.
I was never one to come in from a hot day of playing outside and get some oranges or some fruits or something like that. For me, it was like a Capri Sun and like an Airhead or something, or like a bag of Doritos, and just constantly just hoarded food. Hoarded food. I've just basically been battling obesity since I was born. Basically, it's all I've ever known.
Yeah.
And I tried countless diets, and none of them seemed to work. My mindset every single time was, not the right one. I kept on like, oh, let me try this for a little bit. I never looked for what was sustainable. Everything was like, oh, let me give this a try for 2 weeks, or oh, I have an event, or this get together, or that, party or whatever, and it was just like, oh, let me get in shape for that, and a lot of people do that. Um, but I just, like I said, I never found anything sustainable, and I've tried it all. Like I've South Beach Dive, Jenny Craig,
Yeah.
what's this called? Weight Watchers, you name it, everything. Right before hopping onto keto, it was HCG, the HCG diet, and the drops under the tongue or the injection, and then your calories are really, really low, and it's just the food list, the ingredients, and everything that you are able to eat is just not realistic. It's not sustainable. That's key word, and that's a word that I've
Yeah.
become, really like a good relationship with that word, sustainable. Keep it
Yeah.
sustainable. If it's something you can do long term, that's it for you. Whether it be being a vegan, whether it be carnivore, like I have many friends in the weight loss community, and I think we're all just one big like team at the end of the day, and everybody has their own. Everybody has their own thing. But growing up, I was that person hiding food, wrappers, cans of Pringles under my closet, under my shirts. You know, um, if my parents ever found them, they never really said anything about it. It was kind of like that elephant in the room. They're like, how do we talk to
Yeah.
our son about this? You know,
Mm.
lots of times it was just straight up. I grew up with siblings. I'm the youngest of three. I got a lot of love from my siblings, but at the same time, like my brother, for example, would he'll get in my face and tell me how it is. And maybe at that time I was like, man, he's just being mean. But at the same time, like now that I look at it, I was like, he's been
Yeah.
trying to help me for a long time,
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
very long time. And
Yeah.
my dad as well. My dad has a bodybuilding background. Um,
Yeah.
so is my brother, and he's a police officer. They never competed or nothing like that. They've just been really big fans of the sport, and they've read a lot of books on it, and they've applied a lot of the stuff that they've learned into their training. So I always knew about it. I just never really acted on it, or I was always athletic, but I was the
Yeah.
big kid on the team. Um, so yeah, man, I don't know what it was about keto. It just happened to be popping up on my radar when I was 31, turning 35 in July. And when I was 31 years old, like I was already dealing with, I'd been had high blood pressure for as long as I can remember. Um,
Yeah.
Gout, I had developed gout, sleep apnea, you know, rheumatoid arthritis. Like it was bad. It was really bad. And I remember like I was working at a school, um, and just basically waking up and just being in pain, just walking to the building, in the morning, and I was like, wow, this is something that a 31-year-old should not have to be dealing with. On top of that, too, I've always been a two-job guy. I guess you can say it's the Miami hustler in me, I guess, if you want to say, but everybody in Miami always has something on the side going on.
Yeah.
Um, so my thing was I worked in restaurants. My day job is teaching adults with intellectual disabilities, kids and adults. Now I work with adults. Um, Spent some time also coaching Special Olympics still to this day. I volunteer and I coach for Special Olympics.
Yeah.
And then my other job was basically working nights in restaurants, serving
Yeah.
tables. And a lot of bad habits there. Food was
Yeah.
always around, Could I have made it a healthier option? For sure. But did I? No. Heck no. Especially when you are in a time crunch and you're serving tables on a busy Friday or Saturday night, and you barely have time to eat, you got to do what you can. Um, but yeah, dude, I don't know what it was about, maybe it was just my time to wake up. For
Yeah.
some, it happens earlier. For some, it happens later. For me, thank God, like it happens at 31 years old and not like 41 years old, because as you
Yeah.
get older, especially once you pass 40, you start to slow down a little bit. Everything
Yeah.
becomes a little bit harder. And that's something my
Yeah.
dad always told
Yeah.
me. My dad was always like, hey, like, as you get older, this is going to get harder and harder.
Mm,
So
mm,
you have to take advantage now while you're young, you
yeah.
know? But I spent most of my childhood, my teens, my 20s, obese, and it was not fun. I missed out on a lot of opportunities. Could have ride roller coasters,
Mm,
made fun of, you name it, got into fist fights, all sorts of things, man. And in 2019, keto like popped up on my radar. I had several friends that were doing it, so I started to bug them and ask them questions about it. And I was intrigued. I was honestly intrigued. I was like, at first, the sighting is bacon and cheese.
mm,
And you're like, oh my God, I can have that? What type of diet is this? But then you start to learn more and more about it. And I just became obsessed with it. I became obsessed with it. Um, I became obsessed with going to the gym. I faced that
mm,
fear of just stepping in there and just not worrying about if they're looking at me or whatnot. Just putting my head, my hat. That's why I wear hats a lot. Put my hat on, put my headphones on, and just go to work and just focus on
mm,
the person in the mirror. And I also incorporated intermittent fasting.
mm,
Big faster. I'm fasting right now. I'm probably at like 21 hours right now. I've been
mm,
fasting. Um, that's been game changer. That paired with keto and exercise, the weight just melted off. Um, so much so that I ended up competing
mm,
in a transformation bodybuilding show. Um, had no intentions of doing it. I had a friend that competed in the transformation division the year before and won first place. And he talked me into doing it, so I was like, you know what, let's do it. Um, and I did it differently than everybody else because obviously I did a keto. Everybody's on that typical, I hate to call it this, but it's like the typical bro diet, 6 meals a day, a lot of rice and chicken and oatmeal and stuff like that. And
mm.
being a ketogenic bodybuilder, it's different. It's really different.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I ended up reaching out to a coach. I'm not going to mention who he was, but I ended up reaching out to a coach because I just signed up for my first bodybuilding show. I'm freaking out.
Mm,
So I'm like, oh my God, what do I got to do? Do I got to incorporate carbs? Do I got to get off of keto? Like I was already in my head a lot.
mm,
And I ended up getting this coach, and this coach, I told him I had done keto basically, for the past couple of years, and I've had my weight loss. Should we continue keto, or should we
How
do,
long? How long have you been bodybuilding now?
Well, I just did one show. I'm not a professional bodybuilder. I was actually supposed to do a
Mm,
show this month, and I hired a coach at the beginning of this year, but
mm,
it's one of those things, man, that you have to be mentally locked in.
mm,
Last year when I competed, I was mentally locked in. This year, for some odd reason, I couldn't
man.
control. Once you've been obese your entire life, the scale is going to be one of those things that you're going to have a relationship with for the rest of your life. I don't care what you say. I don't care how much you change your life and how much you change your nutrition. Like,
Mm,
I'm always going to, like, even if I have a cheat meal or
mm,
something like that, I'm always going to have that thought in my head. I got to, if I step on the scale, I'm going to be like 10 pounds heavier. Oh, I'm going to feel it in my clothes. When a person who's never been obese doesn't really think like that.
mm,
You
mm,
get me? They
mm.
just eat it and they think,
Yeah.
oh, I'm bloated or whatever, or I'm full, and then the next day it's like not a care in the world. Me, I'm eating this and I'm thinking, damn, it tastes good, but I'm gonna step on that scale and I'm gonna be heavier. But I've learned to accept it, and it is what it is. But I ended up jumping out of the competition that I was supposed to do this month. You have to know yourself,
Mm,
and that was just a moment where I was just like,
yeah.
I'm not ready for this right now. That's why certain bodybuilders they take their time. They take their
Mm,
time after they do one competition. They won't do one for like years. Then you have the bodybuilders that do one like every couple of months or every couple of weeks or something like that. Like that was just not in the cards for me. Number one, I never had intentions of being a bodybuilder. It just a show that popped up. My boy got in my head about it, and I was just like, you know what? I should do it. Why not? And I don't regret it. I don't regret it. When I did it last year, it was awesome.
Would you say you always had it but didn't know how to do it? Like for me, I'm listening here. You're saying that you've always tried to um, look for a solution, and it's just the sustainability piece that you couldn't do. For me, do you ever sit back and think, man, I did that? Like you, like looking at you, I know you must be really used to this by now, but we're just looking at your transformation. Just from the outside looking in, man. Like what you've done is not common. Like we may see it on a regular basis because we are in the ketogenic space. We
Yeah,
always see it all the time, but sometimes it becomes, you know, common for us, but for regular people, like outside of this community that we're in right now, it's not common what you did. What you did, keto is not even common with my friends and families. Like,
not.
I don't even know a couple of people doing keto
Yeah,
in my circle. But do you ever sit back and think, man, from I was this is 3 years. That's not like it's not 10 years ago. This is fairly recent
yeah,
what you did.
yeah.
And from that person, you're looking at that person from 3 years ago to now. Man, I feel like you've always had it. You always want to do something, but
Yeah.
keto a keto enabled you to do this. The energy that we now get from, you know, keto, it enables us to do all of these things. Would you say that's accurate?
Of course, of course. Like
Yeah.
when you're saying, "Oh, did you know that you had it in you?" Yes, I've gone to
Mm-hmm.
maybe three consultations for the sleeve surgery, um, and I always left there telling myself, "I can do it, I can do it, I can do it." Never did. Well, I at those moments I never did. I would always tell myself, "I can do this on my own. I can do this on my own. I don't need to go that drastic and have the surgery or whatever." And
Mm-hmm.
props to whoever does. My aunt and my uncle both had the surgery. I have a lot of friends in the weight loss community that have had the surgery, but at the end of the day, it's just a tool. It's not going to fix what's up here, you know? And I had to
Mm-hmm.
really, really fix my relationship with food. Is my relationship with food perfect now?
Yeah.
Heck no. It never will be perfect. It's probably like 50 times better than what it was. Like even like, okay, for example, I have put it out there on my Instagram about the Mexican pizza from Taco Bell. I am a big fan of Taco Bell. I don't care to the day I die.
Mm-hmm.
That fast food place it has sentimental value to me. It's a thing between me and my dad back in the day when I was a kid. Long story,
Mm-hmm.
but point is that I have sentimental value with Taco Bell. Even if I were to go eat Taco Bell and take a break from keto, it's the little things the little
Mm-hmm.
adjustments that I've made that mean really, it's huge. Like for example, I'll order something, but I won't order $30 worth of Taco Bell like I used to do back in the day. Yeah, dude, I used $30
Yeah.
for myself. Nowadays it'll be a couple of things, whatever. But the
Yeah.
soda, I used to get
Yeah.
wild cherry Pepsi as my drink.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not anymore. I can't have that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll take the food home and I have my
Mm-hmm.
0 calorie, no sugar Zevia,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll drink that,
Yeah.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
And that's my
Yeah.
go-to now. Like I'm either having
Yeah.
black coffee, water with electrolytes,
Mm-hmm.
or Zevia. That's basically it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every once in a
I
while
get it,
I'll
man.
throw, yeah, like it's
I
the
get
little
it.
adjustments.
Yeah, you know why I get it, because I also have a thing with my dad where I see him once a month,
Yeah,
and we do the same things that we used to do before, right? I mean,
yeah,
I'm not gonna not do the things that I used to do with my dad because of
Yeah.
this lifestyle. Now it gives us the freedom to choose. I know this is not the best for me, but right now this is something that um, is between me and my dad, and
Yeah.
that's why I get what you're saying so much, man. But the
Yeah.
thing
Like,
is that,
uh-huh.
yeah, go ahead.
No, like I was gonna say, like it's very quick story. When I was a kid, I used to pretend
Mm-hmm.
to be sick because I didn't like
Mm-hmm.
school in elementary school. So I would call my mom. She'll be like, "No, stay in class." I would call my dad. I don't know, for some odd reason he's a very strict guy, but was never strict when it came to that. I don't know why. So he'll come pick me up, and there was two things that he could tell me that'll get me to light up, like big smile on my face. Number one, you want to go to the pool? And I'll be like, yeah, and then boom, I'll feel better.
Yeah,
And then the other thing was, you want to go to Taco Bell? That
yeah,
was like our thing, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I get
So
it.
to this day, I
Yeah,
always have,
yeah,
but my choices are better. How I react to things are better. I treat it as a cheat meal, not a cheat weekend or a cheat week or
yeah,
whatever. Like,
yeah.
even though I do
It
have my
doesn't
moments
drag
to,
on.
yeah, it doesn't drag on, but I'm going to be honest with you, I do have those moments where it does spiral out of
Yeah,
control. But for a very short time. But at the end of the day, like I'm human just like everybody else. I will put on a couple pounds, but then I'll just get right back to it. If I
mm-hmm.
travel, I make sure I get a hotel with a gym, or I have a gym
Yeah,
that's available to me. Something I didn't used to do back in the day.
mm-hmm. I wanna get your take on like the first few weeks on keto, because that's the thing that a lot of people talk about is what was your first initial reaction to keto when you found out that, oh, it's you have to get rid of carbs and all of that, and you have to get rid of well, most of the carbs, most of for me, I've always had rice in every meal, and so
Same.
I couldn't imagine myself going a few days without eating rice, but I
Yeah.
did, and it right now I don't think I'm not used to eating rice anymore. So if I would eat rice, it would be at my parents' house.
Yeah.
But after that, I'll be back to where I'm at with my
Yeah.
diet. So what was your biggest challenge on keto? Like, what was the thing that you it was hard to let go for you?
Um. Good question. Um. My go-to was definitely like bread and all the highly processed stuff, all the easy things that you pop into the oven or the microwave or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
At first, it was just like really struggling to find. Like I was just basically trying to find alternatives for everything that I
Mm-hmm.
like.
Yeah.
Big soda drinker. I tried Lacroix. I tried bubbly, and then Zevia popped up into my radar.
Mm-hmm.
And Zevia to me is the closest thing that tastes like if I'm having a Dr. Pepper or a Coca Cola or something like
Mm-hmm.
that. All the other ones were a little bit too much on the fruity side.
Yeah.
Ice cream, you know, found Rebel ice cream and Enlightened Keto ice cream, and it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as like bread, at first I was looking for like the keto breads and the low carb tortillas and
Yeah.
the lavash pita and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But in reality, as I've gotten more deeper into keto, I've cleaned it up for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have I don't have a lot of the things that I used to have
Yeah.
when I first started. I've evolved and I've gotten to be more of a
Yeah.
whole food
Yeah.
type of guy.
Yeah.
You know?
It definitely helps in the beginning, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Those alternative definitely helps, like, because obviously when I look back, like I was so excited with discovering new things, discovering new alternatives to things that I love, right? Obviously it's
Pizza.
not the same. Yeah.
Yeah,
Obviously it's not the same, right?
yeah.
But the benefit that you get from keto makes it worth it, and it's close to the thing. So I mean, You could still have pizza, but you can't have bread. You have the alternative,
Hmm.
the chicken crust or whatnot, right? So
Yeah.
like in the beginning, yeah, just you're right. You hit it on the head. Like, find the alternative to the foods that you love, and stick to that. And like you mentioned, it does help in the beginning, but as you progress into the keto diet, you just find yourself eating more whole foods, and
Yep.
you start to be in tune with your body,
Yep.
and it becomes sensitive to those food that you used to have. And then when you do have them, it's a quick reminder that, oh, like, I'm feeling that same feeling I had before. And then now you start to link that to carbohydrates, and now you have that reminder. Okay, I need to step back and see what I ate, and then
Yeah.
get back on track. So, man, I love your story, man. I wanna get your take on, like, when did you realize that it's becoming a lifestyle for you and it's sustainable? How many months in the diet were you able to say that, yeah, man, I can this can be my lifestyle?
After about a year, I'd say after about a year,
Mm-hmm.
it was just one of those things that I just told myself. I was like, everybody has like their thing and how they eat, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So why can't keto just be my thing? And then if I just take a
Yeah.
break, if I go on a trip or something and I want to be able to enjoy something,
Yeah.
why can't I just do that and then go back to keto? So
Mm.
at first, like I said, I was like kind of testing it, a lot of trial and error and testing it to see, if it's something I can do long term. And then the months started to roll by, the weight started to fall, and
Mm.
I felt great on it. Like my energy level, how much weight I was losing, the fact that I was able to put on muscle with
Mm.
keto,
Yeah.
And people always ask me, "Oh my God, you're on keto? How did you put on that amount of muscle?" I
Yeah.
lifted. Like, I mean, there's nothing really. You eat. You make sure that you eat. I focus on proteins and fats. Carbs
Mm.
are, very little to none. Especially now. Like I don't have many carbs. Like I focus a lot on like grass-fed butter, proteins, protein shakes, bone broth, a lot of bone broth, and eggs. Eggs are like my favorite food. They're my superfood. They've helped me lose weight.
Mm.
They've helped me put on
Mm.
muscle. And the whole egg, none of that egg white and just the yolk or no, the
Yeah.
whole family's together. But it's my on top of that too with the fasting and the keto paired, I feel satiated for longer. I don't have that necessity to be eating all the time. It's okay to let your body heal, and just feel hungry. And that hunger does not last very long if you really think about
Mm.
it. Like when we started this podcast, I honestly felt a little hunger, or my stomach growled. You get me?
Mm.
But my mind quickly got off of that, and then now my stomach is totally fine. I feel totally fine, and I'm approaching, I think, like 22 hours fasted. A lot of this stuff, majority of this stuff is mental, man. It really,
Yeah.
really is.
Yeah.
And I coach
Yeah.
people on keto, something
Mm.
that never that I wanted to do. Same thing with the bodybuilding. It just kind of
Yeah.
landed on my lap, and people were like, "You should coach." So I started coaching, and that's usually one of the first things that my clients tell me. Is it normal to not be hungry? And I'm like, that means that it's working. That means that it's working. You don't have the necessity to be
Yeah.
eating all the time, And fasting alone has its many benefits, but I've used it. I've done fasting, dry fasting. I've done all types of fasting, 3-day fast, you name it. And
Mm.
I do more fasting for weight loss than I do honestly for the benefits. You get
Mm.
me? It
Mm.
helps me to control
Yeah. Yeah.
me from overeating. It really does. Because if I have something in the morning and then I'm going to have to snack mid morning and then lunch and then another snack and then the next thing you know, you're racking up calories. When I just fast all day, I used to have an eating window of 1:30 to 9:30. So I would be having my first meal when my students are having their snack. They leave at 2, 1:30 they're having their snack before they leave for the day. And
Mm.
that's when I would have my first meal. Now it's to a point I go to work, I don't eat at work. I just
Mm.
I don't. I'm on 2 cups of black coffee all day, and water with Redmond Relight electrolytes. That's it.
Mm.
And I'm good.
Now you talk about coaching clients. If there's
Yeah.
one thing that you teach your clients, whether strategy, mindset, habits, if there's one thing that you can only tell them one thing to start. What is it, that one thing that you can say to them that always leads to an individual taking action or succeeding? Because ultimately they'll have to do the action, right?
Be consistent and be patient. I remember being over I remember thinking I was tying my shoe and I was still overweight. I think I was about to start keto or something like that, and I'm tying my shoe, and the first thought, I don't know why, it was just a random day. First thought in my head was, I have over 100 pounds to lose. This is going to take me forever.
Mm.
I, in
Yeah.
the grand, 3 years sounds like a lot, but it's really not. In the grand scheme of things, of me being obese for 31 years of my life, 3 years, nothing. You get
How
me?
should you look
And,
at it?
just take it one day at a time.
Mm.
Trial and error. Nothing about this journey is going to be perfect. If you think this is going to be all sunshine and rainbows,
Mm.
it's not. Okay, you need to get that out of your head real quick. You will have times where you are tempted. You will have times where you're in a party
Mm.
and all they have is fatty food, and stuff that's not going to help you or stuff that's not keto. You get me? Always go with a plan. Be patient. Stay
Mm.
consistent. Same thing with going to the gym. Do you really think I knew everything at the gym when I walked in for the
Yeah.
first time? No.
Yeah.
I would do this machine for chest, and this machine for shoulders, then this machine for biceps. Next thing you know, I'm YouTubing. I'm looking up hashtags of different workouts. Like, I think a lot of people can be kind of on the lazy side. I was one of them. And if you really want it, you got to put in the work and you got to put in the effort.
Mm.
Those that put in the effort,
Mm.
whether they mess up or not, those are the ones that are going to have
Mm.
success.
Mm.
My clients
It,
that go ahead.
Now I was gonna ask you, what goal is ideal for them to stay consistent? Because is weight loss a good goal to have?
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you are obese and you've been obese as long as I have,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very important to take the steps to want to change your life because I don't think
Mm-hmm.
the road I think the road is going to be a dead end,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't say that to wish bad upon anybody. I just don't see anything being beneficial from
Mm-hmm.
being overweight, being obese, you know. And I have clients that sign up with me to lose 20 pounds, and I have clients
Mm-hmm.
that sign up with me to lose over 100 pounds. You get me? And it's
What's stopping
usually
them?
what's stopping them. I mean,
Yeah.
their priorities, and a lot of people don't put themselves as a priority. They put other
Mm-hmm.
things in other people, and I was that person. I was that person that I was constantly like texting my friend, "Hey, where you at? What's going on tonight?" And what's popping. Now it's like if you want to hit me up and chill with me, you hit me up. And I'm not saying that to be a douche. I just had to become selfish and
Mm-hmm.
take care of myself in order to have this lifestyle that I have now.
I get it.
You get me? Like I got to 350 plus pounds because I didn't take care of myself. I
Mm-hmm.
put others
Mm-hmm.
first, and I
Yeah.
never, stuck to anything. I never finished anything I started. So
Mm-hmm.
I always tell my clients, I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
maybe this will work for you, maybe it won't. But I promise you, if you give your 100% effort and you do everything you're supposed to, and I have an accountability group on Facebook where all my clients are, and all they got to do is just post their meals, their gym selfies. They don't have to say a word. I tell them that all the time. I'm like, you don't have to say anything. Just post. And you will see the statistics show that you will see that people who post the most
Yeah.
and are putting in that effort and constantly like texting me, asking me. I tell my clients all the time, whenever you think you're tired of asking me questions or that you're bugging me, you're not. Like,
Yeah.
add like 10 more questions after that because I love questions. I love for you to ask me questions and I love talking about this. You get me? So I tell them, Ask questions. If you
Yeah.
don't ask questions, that leads me to believe that either your head's not really into this or you think you have it all figured out, but you
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
I don't have this all figured out. One thing is losing weight on keto, and then when I had to do a bodybuilding show, completely different. And I totally leaned on Robert Sykes. Robert Sykes, Keto Brick,
Yeah.
like on his videos and his expertise, and asking him questions, asking Danny Vega questions. Several people, Goody Beats. Like these are all guys that I would message, and they would take the time to answer my
Yeah.
questions. Um, so I tell my clients all the time, don't be afraid, man. Like, to ask me
Yeah.
questions. There's no such
Yeah.
thing. I mean, I guess there's some stupid questions, but for the most part, like, there's no such thing as a stupid question. Like, don't be afraid to ask. Because if you don't
Yeah.
know, maybe I know something
Yeah.
you don't. You get me?
Yeah.
So just be consistent, be
Yeah.
eager to learn. And like I said, I don't know if it was me waking up at 31 years old. I don't know if it was keto, maybe a mix of the both. I don't know. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was just intriguing to me. And then, like, I just want to share keto with everybody. I'm not one of those that goes to a crowd and be like, hey, you guys want to know about keto? No. Usually, if
Yeah.
people ask me questions in the gym, I've had people at Trader Joe's like, oh my God, you're big, dude. How'd you get like that? Going to the gym. Oh, how's your diet? Keto. You got like that eating keto? Oh man, I
Yeah.
thought keto was just for weight loss. No, dude. You can put on muscle. So,
Yeah, that goes to show that people have the wrong idea about keto. First of all,
yeah,
you
man.
probably you probably when you first talk up to a client, you probably already know if they're into it, right? Because you said like if you're not asking questions, then your head's not probably in the right mindset. And
What I do is
what?
I schedule myself. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, no, go ahead.
No,
Yeah.
I usually like start off with a consultation call. Um, and I want to hear their voice. I want to hear their voice and what their story's like and what their lifestyle is like and what they've been through. And then I tell them what the program is going to have and what they can expect from me and what I expect from them. And, I always tell them it's a 30-minute call. It ends up being an hour or more because I tell them, I'm like, I can talk about this all day. You get me? But at the end of the day, it starts with you. I can only do my part on check-in day with my coaches that I've had. I had a coach at the beginning of this year. I had a coach for my first show. And even then, you do not wait for your coach to text you and be like, hey, where's your weight or where's your picture or whatever. Like, do not wait for me to go get you or come find you or whatever. Like every Monday morning we have check-in. So you step on the scale in the morning. You don't need to send me the picture of the scale. I'm taking your word for it. If you lie, you're lying to yourself. But once you step on the scale, text me that number. And then once you text me that number, we have, short little conversation, talk about how the weekend was, what we can do to better, do better this week, and so on and so forth. A lot of them always go through that plateau as well. I've gone through tons of plateaus from 355 to 240 where I'm at now. Stepped on stage at 215. My regular weight is 230, but I've gained some weight, but yeah, not a lot, but I'm at 240 now. But yeah, like you really got to ask yourself, how bad do you really want this? Think
Yeah.
about, the conversation we're having. Think about why you're reaching out to me. It's not easy for people to reach out and ask for help, you know? So
What's the majority of people that you see come to you? Is it new people to keto, or is it like people that are already in the keto community that just needs help? Like, what's the majority of the people that
the
you see?
majority of it is new people. I do from time to time get people that have lost weight on keto, but then kind of like took a break. Then now they're looking to get back, or maybe they're just having difficulty starting
Yeah.
back. Um, I have some that just want, the accountability group on Facebook, and help with workouts and stuff. And that's not really my main focus, and I tell them that from the very beginning. Like I have workouts and stuff that I send, But my main focus is mainly like the mindset, the fasting part of it, and obviously the ketogenic, diet.
Yeah.
Um, but it's more new people than people that have already done keto. But I still get people that have already done keto, and then they just, like I said, they want to get back to it. I've had a couple returning clients. I just got one now that he was with me for a while. He had a knee surgery, and then he ended up, rehabbing and doing all this stuff, and then he ended up coming back to me, and he's killing it again.
Mm.
Um,
Awesome.
yeah.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, what's the first step for somebody that's new to keto? And let's say I'm a client of yours, and I'm asking you, so what should I do? Obviously, I still have all this food. Right now, I'm not keto yet. I know about keto, but I just don't know where to start. Like, what's the first step for me?
I'm not one of those people that I'm not going to tell you to go into your pantry and throw everything away. That's on you. You get me? If you have other people in your household that can eat that, cool. If you think it's going to be temptation, get rid of it in a way. I don't know. You can either keep it there, or somebody else in your household eats it, or just toss it. But what I want them to do in the very beginning is I usually send like main like ingredients and shopping lists for the
Mm,
markets.
that's important. Yeah.
Um, and they'll get like a general grocery list, and then they'll get a couple of grocery lists from certain, supermarkets with pictures so that they know
Yep.
what they're looking for. And so then they'll tell me, okay, I'm gonna go to the grocery store and I'm gonna buy everything. I go over recommended supplements, not mandatory supplements, but supplements that I take, which I don't take many. Um, and yeah, that's about it. And then I send them also like a
Yeah.
restaurant fast food guide as well. Um, a weekly meal plan. I have many things available for different types of people. Like if you are the meal prepper type, I have something for
Mm,
that. If you're a person that wings it, I have something for that. If you're a person that always eats out, I have something for
yeah.
that. You get me?
That's
But for
good.
the very beginning, like I tell them I would prefer for you to cook your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you feel that going to, fast food places and going to restaurants and eating takeout is going to help you, that's fine. I know people that have lost weight doing that. To each their own. The way that you do keto is going to be different from the way that I do keto. It is what it
Yeah.
is. But I always tell them best way is obviously, get in the kitchen and try cooking some stuff. I'm not a professional chef or nothing like that. And now I love the kitchen more than ever. There's nothing wrong with me going to cook, some eggs or something like that
Yeah.
right now. I love doing that.
Yeah.
But
Get ready to transform yourself.
yeah, and that's one of the big things. I'm like, listen, if you want change, you really have to you have to make changes to the lifestyle that you already have. If that's not working, you have to like get out of your comfort zone. It's not just going to the gym and putting a hoodie on and being uncomfortable like that. No, it's a lot.
Mm,
It's
mm, mm.
going into restaurants and ordering stuff that you normally don't order, or eating stuff that you normally don't order. Like you just have to get used to changing things up. Same thing with being in a plateau. If you're eating a certain way, eating a certain amount of calories for a month, and you've lost weight, but then on the second month you're not losing any more weight, you're like, oh, keto stopped working. No, keto didn't stop working. Your body's caught up to what you're doing. So you have to make some changes
Yeah.
to your workouts, maybe make some changes to your fasting, maybe make some changes to your keto diet or your tracking. That's another thing. I'm one of those people that I don't think tracking is sustainable. I'm not going to scan and and track every little thing that I eat for the rest of my life. For me,
Yeah.
that's a no-go.
Yeah.
However, I do think it's a great tool, and I do use it from time to time. I used it during my bodybuilding prep. I had to for that, you know, and it was a pain in the butt,
Mm, mm.
but I did it. You get me? I tell my clients, focus right now, 2 meals, one snack. Incorporate some fasting. Pick a fasting time that works best for you. Start off 16/8. I'm telling them to do stuff kind of like the way that I did it. If they want to fast for less hours or more hours, they can do so. We adjust it as we go. But for the most part, like I said, I send them the grocery list and then pick and choose the foods that you like. I tell them, go to the grocery store. If you're curious about a product, take a picture of it front and back. Do not buy something just because it says keto in the front. That's how they get you. You know, they get you with that. They get you with that advertisement.
Yeah.
So you just, I'm
They
one
use
of those
that for
people that I
everything,
check.
for sure.
Huh?
No, I was just saying they use that on everything.
Yeah, man. Like
Nowadays.
they're very quick to add keto to the front of a box of food or something like that, and they're like, oh yeah, it's keto. No, you got at the end of the day, you got to check the ingredients. You got to know what you're looking for. Um,
Yeah.
if it has a long word that you can't probably pronounce, odds are it's probably sugar, or something that's not really supposed to be there. I do believe ingredients should be something you should, be able to read
Yes.
pretty
Yes.
fairly easy. There shouldn't be any dyes or any artificial sweeteners or nothing like that. As
Mm,
clean as possible. You know,
mm.
will you have some processed stuff on keto? Yeah, I did in the very beginning. Like I said, as
It
I've
helps.
gotten deeper into this, I cleaned it up. You
It
know,
helps.
yeah,
Yeah, it helps.
the transition
Yeah.
definitely helps because it's very hard for people to just go straight cold turkey into eating a certain way, whole foods and just bone broth and
Yeah.
protein and
Yeah.
vegetables.
That's
Like it's
not
not that simple.
sustainable. It's
You
not
got to kind of
sustainable.
like get them with the keto ice cream and the keto
Yeah.
bread
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
the
Sell them on that
mayonnaise.
first.
Yeah, man, and you sell them on that, and then little by little we clean it up. That's how we
Yeah,
do it.
it's a natural progression of keto. Like, okay, I want to. Oh, I felt better.
Yeah,
Let me discover what I can do more, right? And discover what you can do. Like, I I'm doing the podcast right now. I don't imagine myself like going back like 2 years ago. I If you tell me I'll be podcasting weekly and interviewing people like you,
yeah,
influencers of the space, like
yeah,
I would laugh at your face. Like I would laugh at your face because I can't even go get past chapter 1 on any book that I read. First of all,
yeah.
I don't have that kind of focus right before keto, but like I said, like you um you now can meet your new self. You That's why coaches are very important. You can hold their hand until they cross the line, wherever that line is. If it's 2 months, like if you start feeling good after 2 months, then it will be to your benefit to um, obviously stick to the diet, right? Because once you feel better, once you feel good on keto, it's gonna be hard to go back, right?
Like,
And that's
do you
why.
know what do you know what it is that I
Uh-huh.
have zero pain, like zero, and most of my pain would be like in my ankles, back in the day, and I have two screws in my right ankle. I dislocated my knee, back in the day, like from the bottom half down, I'm all jacked up, but
Mm.
I used to wake up daily
Completely
in
new
pain.
person, man.
Huh?
I would say I'm a completely different person.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's like I unlocked a new person in the game,
mm,
and I'm getting to know this new person. I am for sure not the guy that I was several years ago back.
yeah,
And
yeah.
if you would have
We're
told
not done.
me, yeah, and nowhere near done. And if
Mm.
if you would have told me back in the day, 3.5 years ago, hey, you're going to be speaking at KetoCon in July of 2022, I'd be like, you're a liar. There's no way.
Speak.
What's keto? What's keto? Like, there's no way.
Yeah,
I'm
nowadays.
very, yeah, man. I'm very fortunate that I've got to sit down. This is like, bro, I've lost count.
Man.
I've lost count of how many podcasts I've been on.
Uh,
The first one, do you know Gormy?
yes, I have Grammy on.
That's Yoda right there. That's my boy.
Mm.
That's dad. Um, he was my first podcast. Um,
Mm.
and then now we're like, we're really really good friends, and then I'm actually gonna face to face in person meet him for the first time at KetoCon, and we've had an
Mm.
amazing relationship, and it's brought so many podcast interviews of people just wanting to know about my lifestyle and what I did to change,
Mm.
and it's amazing, man. Like I still get messages to this day and of people from across the world, and they're like, hey, I heard your interview with so and so, and it's really impacted my life, and I've changed my life around, and I've lost 30 pounds or whatnot. Like, just to hear that,
Love
and
it.
I'm like, I'm just a regular guy from Miami. Like, are you serious? Like, how did
Yeah.
that even happen? But
There's a reason.
yeah, man, there's a reason, and I've just, I'm for the first time in a long
Man.
time, man, I'm just extremely happy with how my
Man.
life is going.
I want to say this. There's a reason why you were overweight, obese. There's a reason why, because you're gonna do this. You're gonna be helping people. There's a reason why God gave it to you.
Yeah,
All of that struggles that you've endured when 3 years ago, it made you into this new person now, and now that you're helping people, because you do have that experience, that knowledge, and that struggle to help other people do
yeah,
the same. Like
yeah, yeah.
I still believe that your experience made you into this person now that's helping
Love
people
it,
out.
man. I love it, and I honestly like. I will go to Gormy sometimes, and because he coaches as well, and I lean on him a lot for advice. He has more life experience than me. He has more experience than me in keto. He's just overall like he's just that guy.
Mm.
But I'll talk to him and I'll be like, I'm so frustrated with this client because like they don't have that passion. Like they need to wake up and realize
Yeah.
that they can do so much better and that they are able to do this you know and then he'll get into my head, and he'll tell me, and be like, yo, dude, like, I wish you can help everybody, but at the end of the day you can't. you know
Yeah.
you can't help everybody. You can only hope that
Absolutely.
whatever it is that you are, what knowledge you're giving them is just going to set them up, and they're going to have their own path.
Yeah, man.
But it's just it's I get frustrated with clients sometimes, and I'm just like, like, not that, oh, I just want you to listen, but I just,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I just want you to want to take care of yourself, because
Yeah.
a lot of my clients, they have kids, they have families, I don't have any kids or nothing like that. Like, but still, like, you have somebody looking up to you, and they're like sponges. I've worked with kids, man,
Yeah.
for so many years,
Yeah.
and they're like sponges, man. They want to do what dad and mom are doing,
Mm.
and then I also get a high from my clients that send me, hey, I just lost another, 3 or 4 pounds, and
Mm.
I'm at a total loss of 70 pounds. Like, I love that stuff, man. Like, one of my guys sent me pictures yesterday. He sends me pictures so that I can set it up, before and after. And I sent it to him, and I was like, dude, take a second and look at this. Like, look
Mm.
at where you came from. Like,
Exactly.
take a second and pat yourself on the back,
Mm.
please.
Mm.
Like,
Mm.
wow, dude. Wow. Like, this
You
community is
know,
just so awesome, man.
you talk about those people that may not listen, but I would say this: it may not resonate now, but trust me, it will, sooner or later, right?
Yeah.
They will remember you. They will remember what you taught them, right? And once they're ready, they have that knowledge from you, and so like, because sometimes it's all about timing, and if it's not the right time for somebody, I've heard of keto 2 years before I started it. you
Yeah.
know like, what's I've always been hearing keto.
Yeah.
And then one day, everything just clicked, and it was I actually learned about it from my cousin, and he's been doing it at that time, but I really didn't uh, pay attention, because for one, like, first of all, like, what's keto, like,
Yeah.
um, right? And I'm just oblivious to it. But down the line, I remember him, and I thank him for talking to me about keto.
Same,
So
same. I have two friends of mine, both named Jesus, by the way. So I always say sometimes that Jesus is the one that showed me keto. But yeah, both of them are named Jesus. Um, they were doing keto, and they were the ones I was messaging them and being like, yo, what's up with this keto stuff, bro? And like, what's it about? And now they come and ask me questions about, hey, what do you think of this supplement, or what do you think about this food, or what do you think about this workout? And I'm like, it's crazy how it's come like full circle.
Man, I love it, bro.
It's
I
crazy.
love
It's
it, bro.
crazy.
You don't. I saw a photo earlier about Tom Cruise and some other lady, right?
Yeah, the
And
co-star from Top Gun.
yeah, man, like that photo is it for me, man. It's really your choice if you really wanna
A
stay.
thousand percent.
Man, if you're you go on. I don't know how to explain to the listeners, but it's a photo from Top Gun with some other lady that's it's a before and after photo, but man, it's crazy.
Yeah, I forgot her name, but yeah, it was his co-star in Top Gun in the first movie in the '80s. She was
Yeah.
fit. He was fit. Now, years later, he's still fit, and she is not part of the sequel because she's told straight up, "I'm old and I'm fat." At least she admitted it.
Yeah.
But at the same
No,
time, like
she
it just
said
goes to show you.
yeah, and she said it's age appropriate. She said she's like
Yeah, no, yeah, no,
yeah.
no. Because I'm sorry, like Tom Cruise is one of those guys that he has put his health first,
Mm,
and that's why he
first.
looks as great as he does, and that's a lot of reasons why to
Mm,
this day he still does like his own stunts and stuff. Like at the
yeah.
end of the day, man, it starts and
Yeah.
ends with you. That's the main thing. Like
Now
if you
we'll end
get
it there. We'll
yeah,
end it there.
straight up, yeah,
Man, I could talk to you all day, brother.
same.
Man, where can people find you? I want our listeners to be able to find you, bro.
I'm mostly active on Instagram and TikTok at keto double underscore D. So at
Yeah,
keto
yeah.
double underscore
We're gonna
D.
link everything. We're gonna link everything down below.
Awesome.
We'll include your coaching and everything too, man. Like I am so grateful for you, what you've done in the keto space, man. Like in 3 years, you have done so much, and really now helping people do the same, man. So keep doing what you're doing, brother. I'm gonna push
Quick
the
question.
message.
Quick question.
Sure.
Are you going to KetoCon?
No, I can't
Ah,
this year.
ah, bummer. All
Sorry,
right.
I do have the tickets. I have the tickets,
Yeah.
but I can't. Yeah, I can't. Something came up, and that man, it's a bummer. But man, I'm gonna we're gonna meet face to face next year. I'm gonna commit to that today.
Absolutely, man. Looking forward to that.
Man, thank you so much, brother. Man, your story. I'm gonna push your message, the best way I can, and I'm gonna follow you. Keep following your journey, man. And brother, you've done an amazing job with
Thank you.
yourself and your clients,
Appreciate
brother.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Really do appreciate it, man. I had a blast talking to you.
All right, brother. Bye bye.
All right. Peace.
David, hang on. That's it.
I'm here.
Bro, man, like you're amazing, brother. What
Thank
you've
you,
done,
man.
bro. Like such an inspiration for a lot of people here.
Appreciate it.
Um,
Yeah.
man, a lot of people needs your coaching. Like I said, man, what you're doing is obviously if you're getting a lot of new people, it could be hard to explain this. It could be hard for people to transition, but man, you hit it on the head,
Yeah, man.
explaining it, brother. So
Everybody usually look like
mm,
the reason why diets fail. I should have mentioned this in the podcast interview, but